So let's repeat once again. The folder that you created in previous class, in my case, like I have on my desktop, notes app. If your case is also the same, you see I have two folders with the same name. You see notes app, and inside this again notes app, go to the internal folder first. Okay, and once you reach there, on the in the URL type cmd, and here we need to start Laravel server because we have already installed. No need to repeat that process again. So we need to start. So how to start? PHP artisan serve, serve. You can see, right? Press enter. It will start the Laravel server. You see already started, right? You should see this like message. So now we can localhost colon 8000. You should see this page, right? And today our first point is to add the login module. We covered already. This one we have covered. Yeah, we have done this. We have done this right last time. You remember? So you try to understand like this. That we have three components: view, controller, and model. Okay. So in a previous class, we created few views, we changed the content of that, and we try to see that one. Today, let's try to create a controller. Okay. So in Laravel, to create a controller, the command is this one: php artisan make controller, and after that you can give any name like welcome controller. Okay, so let's go to this. I will, you see, this command prompt should be running in the background and create another open another CLE. Okay, so the previous one is running. I open another one to run new commands. Okay, so here PHP artisans make this colon controller and space and the controller name. Let's give a name welcome controller. The naming convention that the welcome controller name from capital like welcome W capital C. Okay, and then press enter. Once press enter, see get a message that the controller is created successfully. Okay, now I want to open, we need to open the folder in VS Code, right? To see the controller. Okay, let me, can I try like this? Actually, in my computer it works. You want to open the same folder in VS Code, just type code space dot, you see, it will open. Code space dot. To see the controller that we just created, and then controllers, apps, HTTP controllers, and this is the welcome controller that we just created. Is it okay? Uh, all of you agree, right? So now we just want to learn that how to create your own controller and how to create functions in that controller, because the controller main task is to have some logic coding which can handle views and which can process the data for us. Okay, so now we are very simply learning how to create controller, how to define a function in that, and using that function how to display some view. Okay, using this controller. Okay, so now here in this controller we will create a function. Inside this function, if you want to create, then you can type public function, but I think I should quickly test. Okay, public function index, and maybe yeah, the sometime when you copy from other platform, actually it is not working. Yeah, okay, it works. It's like this. Index, so index is the function name. You can see that? No. Okay. And here you see, in this function, we just want that this function should return the welcome view. The same welcome view it should return. Okay? Okay, done, huh? Now, once you have a controller, you have a functionality inside the controller. We need a target okay, to access this functionality. Okay? So the URL will be this one. Go to uh, routes and web.php, routes web.php. They went up, and I will type this one. You see, previously we were using the router directly and returning some view, but this time we are using the controller. You see, route get get route. This means the home page. And this home page, the first argument will be the home. The controller name should be the same that you have created. If there is a spelling difference, it will not work. Let me close views. It is a folder in the name routes. Open the routes, and here is a web.php. If you cannot see this, okay, if you cannot find, every one of you, if you cannot find the hierarchy folders, press Control P, okay? When you press Control P, here will be the search option, right? And just type web.php. You will get it quickly and just open that one. So, to see that this controller and the functionality that we added is working or not, we will go to browser, and in a browser, you see it is a home directory again, just the local host colon 8000 in my case. Okay, if I just refresh this one and I get the, you see I have a problem. So the problem is where, let me see the error message. Welcome controller does not exist. Okay, yeah. You see why it says that welcome controller does not exist? Because you see here I am using in the web, I need to import the welcome controller. Okay, so if there was one extension actually on that one, if you right click, but I think the extension I haven't installed or maybe is not working. So for that purpose, we let to import this. Okay, and a controller, welcome controller. Then we can use the controller here. This one also. Sorry, yeah, use this. Yeah, this I'm using. I can see the welcome page because previously the error was this that I didn't import it. The is unknown here. We need to introduce so how to import the class. So you see from this activity, what we learned, we created our own controller. We defined a function inside that, and the functionality was that just to return a welcome view. In the future, we will return our create and delete it there. Okay. And every functionality to see you need a router. Okay, and for that one we created a router. Everybody run Xen controller. Start localhost. This time without the colon uh, 8000 because I want to see PHP my admin. Okay, and then PHP my admin. We are here. So in my case, it is totally empty. No database is there. Now the point is okay, right? You know that every web application. An important point. Every web page and the database must have a connection, right? So how to connect the web page to the database to read and write data from there? So there is a configuration file in the project. Let's go to Visual Studio Code, everybody. Visual Studio Code, can you see here .env, .env file? Click this one, it will open. So if you see here, you see the DB connection. DB connection is MySQL, means we are using MySQL, right? Okay. The host is this one, meaning to say the MySQL is installed where? Is on this computer, localhost. The port name is this one. Database is Laravel. Okay. So we need to change this because we don't want to use this one. Let's change this to nodes app or light nodes. Anyone you can. I think it should be the same. App. Maybe just app. Nodes app. And you see the user is root and without any password. So in this is the default configuration. If your computer you have already some previous user and you want to change to that user, you can type the username and you can type the password here. Because when the web page try to connect to MySQL, it will use this configuration. So now you see, if it is uses this configuration, then we should have this nodes app database there, right? In our Zen. You see here is no database available, right? So we need to manually create this database. Actually, in Docker, it is quite nice. In Docker, it will create automatically for you. But in our case, we will create manually. So, but not the point. This will be the same that you have mentioned in the .env file, right? So you can see now. So it will be the same database name which you have typed in the .env file, right? Very, very less response. Okay, so click create. And here, database is created. Inside this database, I am just creating one file, or sorry, one table, just to learn how to read data from there and how to store data, how to read from there. So let's quickly create a table. The table name should be students. Um, ID, name, email address. I think should be simple one. ID, 3 columns. So create. The ID should be, it will be integer. It goes like this. It should be the primary key also. And it should be auto increment. And it is right. And you have that. So the last one should be email. It should be also WhatsApp. Maybe 55. That's all. And click save. Did you get right? So I hope all of you has the student simple table, right? Let's insert some data. Click insert. Click insert. One. Name is, you can type your own name. You can type email. Let's suppose second value 2. Name is anyone. And anyone at gmail.com. And then click go. So if I see, you see the values are there. Right? Hello, everybody. The values are there. So we created a database. The database name must be the same as in the .env file. We created a table there. We just inserted few values. So we want to learn how to read this value and display there in Laravel. Okay. Go back to welcome controller. This one. And here, instead of I the database and display here. So let's comment this coding public function index. Just comment this one. Okay. And here let me share the code with you. Import class. Okay, what I am doing here, that you see this db colon. This is called facade. FACADE, facade. Facade is an interface. So this is an interface. So many functionalities are already defined there, and this DB facade is used to interact with database. Okay, so using this DB facade, we can directly create uh, a query here, okay, like select staring from students, and the connection is already defined in the .env file. Okay, so whatever data we get, it will just dd. You see, the data will be returned to this variable, and we are just dd means just display here, because we outside a function the code doesn't make sense. Okay, we need to import this one. Use this. I will share the code with you. And then what? Dash db facades dash db. Yeah. Now, so actually, this is the where the db class, the facade is stored. Just the path there. Is okay? Now let's check browser. You see, we got the values from the database. My name, my email address. Anyone? So we learned one way which is called query selector to select data from database and display here. The next method is called query builder. Okay. This one is called query builder. Okay, wait. Actually, we need table students and select name and email address. And this should be students. Okay, wait some this one. Yeah, and this should be students. Yeah. So previously we were using the db facade select function. This time table. Okay. db colon table, and then which table you want to access, give the table name, and then from that table you what you want to read. So select name, email, and you can apply some condition where not null. Update the previous one. So this is just another way to access your database table. And you know this one, the select query, you can design in any way, many different style, like select static or some specific field name, and the conditions were not null. For example, if you want that the email should not be not null, or name should not be not null, order by this one, and then get. You get the coding right? Okay, so this one supposed to be saved again. Go to your browser, refresh again. You see, we again got values, and the values are there. Go to command prompt. We are paste. Oh, I will share the code with you. Yeah, I think I should share. Go to operations, go down and drop the table. So my database is empty now. No table is there. Enter. You see, created successfully. Right? Created successfully. Now go Visual Studio Code, you can see this one under databases and integrations. Okay, so you go to your project folder in a Visual Studio Code, then under databases is migration, and under migrations, the migrated there, okay? So we created another migration. So you see, migration is actually a systematic way, systematic way of creating tables and deleting tables, inserting data. So how you see, so the Laravel created two methods for us. One is up, one is down. The up method when the table will be created. Okay, it is just migration is created, not table is created yet. Okay, so you see for this one the ID is also created for us and the timestamp is automatically created. Now, what fields do you want that this table should have? The students table should have what fields? We can add that one here. So, type $sign table, string, so string we want name, right? Type name, semicolon, another one $sign table, this one should be also string, right? And email, semicolon. Done, right? Okay. In this way, as many columns you want, you can add, right? And you see the data types that use string, like I'm using string. What are the other data types? Actually, in documentation of Laravel, if you go there and you search for column types, column types, columns data type, available column types. You see here, available column types. So you see all these types are available there. Text, character, date, time, blah, 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 right? Okay, so you can easily get from here what we want. So once you decide that, okay, the table columns are enough for me, save this one and come back to your command prompt again. Okay, come back and type PHP artisan migrate. Now this time the migration will be applied and the table will be actually created. PHP, let me, PHP artisan migrate. PHP artisan migrate. Press enter. You see all the migrations. You can see all the migrations, the previous one also, the existing one also, and the new one also. You can see here user table is created, password reset table is created, the jobs one, personal access, these are system tables already. The one is our one, create student table. Now, if I check my localhost here, PHP my admin, you see, in the notes app, all the tables are created there. Did you see? So you see, this is a very systematic way. Just share the migrations with your co-worker and they can just run the migrate all the tables, the structure, the data, everything will be easily available to everybody. So again, a student table, insert some dummy data. One. In the created ad and updated ad, you can just select now. You see from here now the function now. It will check system dead. Okay, to anyone again, and anyone at gmail.com, and again now and now. Should be okay, right? And then click go. So this data is inserted here. Okay, so the next step is that we created migration, we created the table, we inserted data there, right? Now, the next step is that we need a model, you see, model view, model view controller. The framework is like that. What model view controller. So the view we are interacting with, that it send data to controller, controller connect with the model read and write data from database. Okay. So now we need a model for the database. And note the point, for every table, you need one model to interact with the table. Okay. So now in the same way like we created migration, we will create a model. Okay. So I'm sharing the code of model. It's the same thing, PHP artisan make model and the name of the model. But there is one special note that you see our table is students, right? Students. The model will be singular, student. You see, every table, like table name is plural, students. The model name will be singular, and by convention, the S will be capital. The table was not capital, the model will be capital. Okay? So I'm sharing the code with you. Same thing. S here. Command prompt, PHP artisan make model student. Press enter. Model is created successfully, right? I hope all of you get it. Later on the slides I will share with you. Okay, now you see previously we were typing the code into controller, in the welcome controller. This time we have a model now. The model will talk to the database. Okay, so let's go and find the model in our code. So go here. Models are there. HTTP. Here models. When you see here HTTP models and the student is there. By default, the coding, this coding is already there. We will create a function inside the model, like last time we create a function inside a controller. So here inside the model we will create this index function, and this index function will have the query to talk to a database and delete the data. And now here let's create. Oh, sorry, this one I need to use here. X. Right and import the class model. Now here you see the students model. Using this student model, just call the all function. You see, it means like select static from student. Select everything from student. How much easy is it? You see, using model, no need to type select static, blah blah blah. Just the student, the model name, colon, and all. There are several functions we need to learn. Okay. Now, yeah, I got that again. If you observe, I enter my name first, the other one second, but when I display it, so it's by default displaying order by created time. Which one is latest created? So the latest created time is by default. Let's just check the query. You see, instead of die and dump, we are using for each loop and using the students for each loop is a structured loop which iterates through arrays and tables. As long as data is there, it iterates automatically until the last record and display. Okay, so we just use the for each loop and we are displaying the data. So if you go and refresh your browser, you will get the same record. Because we have only two values, okay, the two values are still there. So this is another way how to iterate through data inside a table. So here let's comment everything and then paste the new coding. Did you get right? Because the coding I already shared with you. So you see dollar sign students, select student is the model name that we created, and we can use the same select query also, name, email, like previous time we used. You can actually copy from there also that we used previously. Now, if you refresh and you check again, we got.
We learned how to read data from database using the three methods: query selector, query builder, and eloquent ORM object relational model, which we created the model with the name of student. So we use that one to read the student data from a database and display here in a web page. Now if we want to insert data, then we will use the same student model. Let's create a variable like this to a variable $student and create an object of the student model, and then using this this is actually an object of the student model, this one, the variable that we created. So using this object student dot name, the name will be the column of the table that you want to insert value, and this will be the value, which value you want to insert. So for example, new student. Similarly, student email, again the email is the column and this one is the value. So in this way, as many fields you want to add, you just add to the object, and then at the end just call the save function student dot save, and this will add the data to the database.